2 years ago, I quit my job. I left a successful career to take a break and eventually decided to pursue entrepreneurship. Through this journey, I've learned several valuable lessons that could help you if you're thinking about quitting your job soon. Here's what I want you to know before taking that step. The first thing you should know before quitting your job is that burnout recovery takes time. When I left my job, I definitely underestimated its impact on me. While I intentionally planned an open-ended break, I didn't expect it would take months to regain my energy and excitement. I like to think of my recovery as having two distinct phases. First came 2 months where I didn't want to do a thing. I quit at the end of February, and it wasn't until May that I started a new project, creating this YouTube channel. For the next 6 months, I only committed part-time hours to this project. We released a video every 2 weeks, which was perfect, enough to keep me busy learning new skills and exploring a long postponed hobby while giving myself space to still recover. It wasn't until 8 months after I left my job that I felt ready to ramp up my commitment and start releasing weekly videos. Burnout affects most of us. According to Forbes, 66% of employees experience job burnout in 2025. If you're thinking about quitting your job, you're likely experiencing burnout too. I've spoke with others who have left their jobs for similar reasons, and almost everyone shares the same experience. Recovery simply takes time. You need to build this recovery period into your plans. Whether you want to explore a new hobby, start a new business, take a mini retirement, give yourself permission to recover without feeling pressured to be productive. The next thing you need to know is that time freedom can be overwhelming. That first Monday after leaving my traditional job, my head was spinning. I had no idea how to structure my time, and the sudden abundance of freedom felt paralyzing at first. While we often dream about having more time and freedom, such a dramatic change can be overwhelming. That's why we typically recommend taking small incremental steps towards freedom, like reducing your hours, working seasonally, or even shifting to a 4-day work week. Fortunately, I had a built-in solution to prevent this from becoming too overwhelming. My wife and I had planned our first extended trip in our converted camper van. We were scheduled to leave just 2 weeks after I quit. Looking back on this transition, having that trip planned was absolutely crucial. It gave my mind something to focus on and really allowed me time to adjust to my new freedom gradually. Now, in my 3rd year without a traditional job, I truly appreciate the flexibility I have. I can run errands at Costco during quiet weekday hours, and I can wake up without an alarm most days. But this level of comfort didn't happen overnight. It's essential to approach this transition with eyes wide open. Without this awareness, you might start second-guessing your decision to quit. Another way to avoid second-guessing your decision is to create a financial runway. Money specifically set aside to fund your lifestyle for a set period. This gives you peace of mind knowing you can maintain your lifestyle for several months or even years. This is especially important if you haven't yet reached financial independence. While pursuing financial independence, it's tempting to invest every single dollar towards retirement, but this isn't necessarily the best approach. The key advantage of a financial runway is that it gives you permission to make changes before reaching full financial independence. While it can be mentally challenging to spend money that could be earmarked for retirement, reframing it as a near-term investment in yourself makes it so much easier to use. When I left my job, we had the equivalent of about 2 years of expenses set aside to fund our lifestyle if things didn't go according to plan. And I'm so glad we did. It gave me the peace of mind to prioritize my recovery and allowed me to choose a pursuit based on my interests and curiosity, not just finding the fastest way to generate income. My advice is to build up a balance in a high-yield savings account that will fund your lifestyle for a set period. The freedom and flexibility you'll gain will more than make up for any potential investment returns that you might miss out on. The next thing you need to know before quitting your job is that you don't need to figure everything out. It can be so tempting to postpone a big decision until you have everything figured out. What you'll do next, how you plan X, Y, or Z. But what typically happens is you keep adding more things to your must figure out first list. And look, I get it. If you're watching this video, You likely care about building financial freedom and are a forward-looking person. But this perfectionist planning can keep you stuck in a place too long. It's the ultimate one more year syndrome. While people usually talk about this in the context of retiring, postponing any big life change is incredibly common. As I mentioned earlier, when I left my job, Jess and I agreed that there would be no timeline for me to jump into something new. This helped tremendously. I didn't have everything planned out, and it worked out just fine. Sometimes you need to take those first steps to then get feedback that will inform your next moves. Without taking action, you'll never have enough information to guide your direction. So don't let perfectionism hold you back. Move forward even if you haven't figured out everything. When you quit your job, not everyone will understand. This includes colleagues, friends, and especially family. When I told people about my decision, I received a wide range of reactions. One person close to me even called me a vagabond. Little did they know, with my dreams of location independence, I actually took that as a compliment. And yes, this really happened. But on a serious note, these reactions affected me deeply. It's challenging when those closest to you express fear or doubt, particularly during these moments of self-uncertainty. Fortunately, I had plenty of supporters celebrating this change and encouraging me along the way. I wouldn't be here without those supporters. I have learned that others' responses don't determine your future success. Their reactions usually reflect their own fears rather than any judgment on your potential. My advice? Accept from the very beginning that not everyone will understand your decision. And once you do that, it becomes easier to brush off moments of doubt or confusion from others. Lastly, you also need to know that money fears don't go away. I used to think that feeling afraid meant I was doing something wrong, that I wasn't prepared enough, or I needed more safeguards to prevent that fear from resurfacing. Back then, feeling afraid automatically signaled to me that resources were scarce. The past 2 years have shown me otherwise. Throughout the past 2 years, I've experienced many waves of money fears. Everything's going smoothly and then bam! Suddenly that scarcity mindset hits. The thoughts are always similar. I'm spending too much, we're not making enough, and so on and so on. I learned that most often these feelings of scarcity aren't based in reality. While it might feel like resources are scarce, the facts usually tell a different story. Now, I understand that these fears aren't warning signs of poor decisions. Instead, they're opportunities to review my plan. Sometimes you simply need to sit with your fears and understand where they're coming from, and then be able to work through them. That's how personal growth happens. Money fears are just one type of limiting beliefs. If you're dealing with money fears and want to learn specific strategies to overcome them, watch this video next. It'll give you several tangible steps to work through them. Thanks so much for watching and enjoy the journey.